everyone and welcome to my Avengers comic book haul. So obviously this is part 3 of my comic book haul, where this time I'm focusing entirely on the Avengers. So let's just get right into it because there is a hell of a lot to get through. And the first thing I got was Gwenpool Strikes Back by Leah Williams. Now this one is essentially a new Gwenpool series where Gwenpool Strikes Back. I know nothing essentially about what this one's about apart from the fact that it's about Gwenpool, and Gwenpool is one of my favourite characters because she is essentially me and what would happen if I was somehow sucked into the actual Marvel universe, because she was a massive fangirl in our world. She read all the comics, she watched all the films, all the rest of it. She's got practical encyclopedic knowledge of everybody, which is entirely me. So when I found out there was a character like me, I've immediately picked up all of her stuff. She's absolutely brilliant and I cannot wait to see where this one goes. I then got Spider-Verse by Dan Slott. Now this one is essentially sort of like Into the Spider-Verse, where something happens, the multiverse ends up being sort of torn apart essentially, and all of the Spider-Verse people of all the different universes and just generally all the people who count under the Spider term end up having to team up together. So this is obviously Peter Parker, Miles Morales, Gwen Stacy as Spider-Gwen, and a whole load of other people. So I was really interested in this one because I really did love Into the Spider-Verse and I wanted to see basically more about the Spider-Verse and stuff, so I picked this one up. I then got Miss Marvel Destined by Saladin Ahmed because I really want to like Miss Marvel. There's been a huge resurgence in her recently because she's one of the main characters in the Avengers game, but what I have read of her so far I haven't really enjoyed, so I'm thinking maybe it was the writer. So instead I've gone for a different writer, which is Saladin Ahmed, who I've already read from his Miles Morales comics and I really enjoy them. So I decided to also pick up Miss Marvel while she was on sale, just to try her out essentially and see how that goes. Speaking of Saladin Ahmed, I also got Volume 2 of his Miles Morales series, which is Bring On the Bad Guys, and I did actually read this yesterday at time of filming and really enjoyed myself. I love the family dynamics that he's put in terms of like Miles and his parents and his uncle. I really love seeing that dynamic. It was really good fun, really interesting, and I'm definitely going to be continuing on with his series because it is quite frankly brilliant. I've then also got Falcon Take Flight by Rodney Barnes, and this one is essentially exploring Sam being Falcon and everything post Secret Empire. Now personally, Secret Empire is not really a comic I want to read because Captain America's Hydra is just not something I'm here for whatsoever, but I am really interested in Sam focused stuff because he's now obviously stepping up as Captain America in the films, and he's also a really interesting character in his own right and I have always really liked him, and so I wanted to explore a bit more of his comics as well when Falcon and the Winter Soldier comes out. So I did pick this one up. Fingers crossed I can read it without knowing what happens in Secret Empire. If not, I'm going to Google it because quite frankly I'm not reading Secret Empire. And this next section I'm calling the Black Panther section because a whole load of Black Panther comics went for free in single issues on Comixology, so naturally I picked all of them up. So all of this is going to be Black Panther. The first one is Marvel Knights Black Panther by Christopher J. Priest, and this is sort of like, if I remember rightly, a sort of collection of Black Panther stories, so I thought that'd be really cool, and also it was free at the time, so naturally I picked it up. I then got Black Panther The Complete Collection, also by Christopher J. Priest, and this one is like looking at T'Challa and Wakanda through Everett Ross's eyes, which I thought was a really interesting sort of spin on the whole thing. I really like Everett Ross as a character. I'm mainly biased because he's played by Martin Freeman in the films, but there we go. I do really think this will be a really interesting one though, because obviously Everett Ross has got this very Americanized view of the world and everything, so I'd be really interested to see like how he views Wakanda and everything as the CIA ambassador liaison between America and Wakanda. He's something like that anyway. He's their liaison. So I thought it'd be really interesting to see an American outsider's point of view in the world of Wakanda. So I thought this would be a really interesting angle, so I picked it up. I then also got Black Panther by Jason Aaron. Now this is the storyline that ties into Secret Invasion. I have got Secret Invasion. I have read some of it and so I decided to pick this one up as well while it was free, so I could sort of get a better complete picture of Secret Invasion from T'Challa's point of view. I then got Black Panther by Christopher Priest. He has done a lot of Black Panther comics, and this one is supposed to be like a definitive run of Black Panther. It's a really famous run for him, so I picked it up because obviously I'm going to go for the definitive run as well, especially while it's free. I then got Black Panther Deadliest of the Species by Reginald Hudlin. This is post Secret Invasion, where Shuri is Black Panther because T'Challa's missing or dead. It's something like that, and Shuri is now Black Panther, which is something that I really also wanted to explore because I know that Shuri doesn't like being the Black Panther, if I remember rightly. She much prefers being in the lab, and as Black Panther she can't be in the lab that much, so I thought it'd be a really interesting sort of idea to explore that. So again, while this was free, I thought I'd pick it up, and again, it means because it is post Secret Invasion, I've got a bigger picture of Secret Invasion as a whole. Black Panther 2099 by Robert Kirkman, and this one is a one-shot. It's like one issue long, and this one is where T'Challa is missing. That's all I really know. It was free, so I picked it up. I then got Black Panther and the Crew by Ta-Nehisi Coates. Now this one is a team up in New York with sort of secrets being revealed about the Marvel Universe, which I'm really here for. I'm really here for more secrets being revealed about the Marvel Universe and stuff like this. I always find those storylines really interesting, even if they completely change my mind about certain things in the Marvel Universe. I like being sort of challenged in that way, so I picked it up. Also, I really like Ta-Nehisi's writing. It's a bit more literary to what I'm used to in comics, but I really like that, so I cannot wait to read this one. I then got Black Panther vs Deadpool by Daniel Kibblesmith, and essentially I just needed to know that it was a fight between T'Challa and Wade. That's all I really need to know. I love both of these characters. I cannot wait to see them to go head to head. It just sounds so much fun, so I picked it up while it was free. I then picked up Black Panther Long Live the King by Nnedi Okorafor. Now this is the aftermath of a revolution, and they're essentially just fighting one great big monster. That's all I remember, essentially, and all I've got on these notes, so that's only fun. I also wanted to check out some of Nnedi Okorafor's writing. I know loads of people really love her in the community, so why not combine that and like checking out her work with also reading Black Panther. So naturally this was perfect to pick up now. And then the final Black Panther one I got was Marvel Action Black Panther by Vita Ayla, which is a middle grade Black Panther story. I don't usually read middle grade comics, but I wanted to give this one a try also while I was on a bit of a Black Panther sort of hit, and also I really want to try out Vita Ayla's writing. Currently I think her Nebula series has now been cancelled, which is really annoying, so hopefully I can sort of check out her writing in this one instead. On to the rest of the Avengers now. The first one I got was Tony Stark Iron Man by Dan Slott. And this is just sort of exploring the man behind the suit and getting to know Tony that little bit better, which I think we all need, and quite frankly I'm hoping it fills the hole in my heart that Endgame left me, so that's why I picked it up. I then got Infamous Iron Man 1 and 2 by Brian Michael Bendis. Mainly because of Brian Michael Bendis, but also because this is where Doom takes over as Iron Man, and this serves as the start, the introduction to Riri Williams, who is someone I have absolutely fallen in love with as a character this year. So I thought I'd also get her origins while also celebrating more Brian Michael Bendis, so that's going to be really good fun. Continuing on with Iron Man, because I apparently had an Iron Man run as well at some point in the last couple of months. The first one I got was Iron Man Believe, which is by Kieran Gillen, and it's essentially the Extremis storyline. I watched Iron Man 3, found out about Extremis, and I haven't really read anything about Extremis since, or seen anything about Extremis since Iron Man 3, so I wanted to explore it more while it was on sale, so I picked it up. And then the final Tony Stark one I got was Director of S.H.I.E.L.D. The Complete Collection by Daniel North, which is Tony as Director of S.H.I.E.L.D. I needed to know nothing further than that because I love the idea of Tony as the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's such an interesting idea, and sort of to just see how he does it and how maybe people like Daisy and obviously like Fury and people like that sort of react to him as the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. I think that's going to be really interesting. Also, I think I've got part of this upstairs in a physical copy that I got in a charity shop, so I got the complete collection so I could definitely read the entire lot in one go. Also, I lied, there's actually 2 more Iron Man comics, and those are Superior Iron Man 1 and 2 by Tom Taylor, which is post-Extremis storyline and post-Avengers vs X-Men. Now obviously that is a House of M tie-in, so I am just absolutely here for anything that has the Extremis storyline and is also House of M related, so I had to pick this one up. I know it's a really popular one, so I picked it up while it was on sale. I then got Ant-Man Second Chance Man by Nick Spencer, which is Scott teaming up with Tony and fighting Taskmaster. I needed to know nothing else. I have nothing other than this one in terms of Ant-Man comics, so I thought I'd pick this one up where he's doing a bit of a team up, and also it means I get to find out a little bit more about Taskmaster before I go see Black Widow next May. If it comes out in May, touch wood. I'm hoping it comes out in May at this point. I don't know when else it will come at this point. I then got Winter Soldier Second Chances by Kyle Higgins, and this one is Bucky seeking redemption by helping others, and I'm just here for that. I'm really here for Bucky redemption stories because I am one of those people that fully believes that the Winter Soldier was completely controlled by Hydra and none of it is his fault. He was forced into it. So I'm really excited to sort of see that redemption arc, even though I don't really feel like he needs that redemption arc. I just feel like he can be a hero now as Bucky and as the Winter Soldier if he so wishes. But I cannot wait to read this one. I am totally here for Bucky sort of doing what he wants to do now and helping people and everything. I'm totally here for that, especially with Falcon and the Winter Soldier coming. I then got Man on the Wall by Alice Knott, which is also a Bucky one, which is focusing on Bucky in Asgard of all places, and also the aftermath of Bucky being shot and exactly who has done it, which sounds really interesting actually. I'm mainly here for Bucky in Asgard though, because that just sounds really weird because he's never in Asgard. As far as I know, he's never been in Asgard. The only time he was ever in the same shot as Thor was at Tony's funeral, so I cannot wait to see what he does when he gets to Asgard. I feel like that would be a really interesting idea. I then got Fear Itself by Matt Fraction, which is a really big sort of event in the Marvel Universe, so I picked it up because I'm just really interested in all of these big events. I then got Secret Adventures by Ed Brubaker, which is a secret team teaming up to save Shang-Chi. Now I wanted a bit of Shang-Chi as well because that film's also coming out, so when I saw this one, I've heard it's very highly acclaimed and people really like it, so I decided to pick it up, A, so I could research a bit more about Shang-Chi, and B, also get in on this popular comic action. After that, I also got Doctor Strange #5 Secret Empire because I have the rest of this series by Dennis Hopeless and I didn't have this one, so while it was on sale I also picked it up. I have no idea when I'm going to read this, probably when Doctor Strange comes out with Multiverse of Madness in the next couple of years, but who knows. Essentially I am preparing for Doctor Strange whenever it so happens. I then got Strange Origins by Greg Pak. Now this one is it's Doctor Strange's origins, which I've kind of read in The Oath, but that was told via flashback, whereas this one is sort of going actually with it, and it's described as being part Lord of the Rings, part Indiana Jones, which sounded interesting to say the least when we're talking about Doctor Strange of all people. So it's definitely going to be strange, if I can make the pun, and I cannot wait to get to this one. It's been on my wish list for so long, and now that it's actually on my TBR, I cannot wait to get to it. I then also got Doctor Strange City of Sin by Donny Cates. Now this one is set in Vegas and set after Loki has becomes the Sorcerer Supreme, which I'm just here for. I am desperate to see more of Loki and Doctor Strange teaming up because one, they're two of my favourite characters of the MCU ever. I just adore them, and two, like Benedict Cumberbatch and Tom Hiddleston are my two favourite actors, so I'm desperate to see them meet a bit more after the I've Been Falling for 30 Minutes moment. I want more of that, and if I can only get that in comics, then I will only get it in comics. But also considering the fact that I know the Loki TV show is supposed to be tying into Doctor Strange 2 Multiverse of Madness, I wanted to get a few sort of team up comics, or well, not team up comics, but comics where they're sort of fighting each other and stuff like this, just to see where it goes and just sort of get an idea of how it's going to go, essentially. I'm just I just want more Loki and Doctor Strange in my life. I've got no other excuse apart from I want more of them in my life. I then got World War Hulk by Greg Pak, which is quite difficult to say actually. I didn't think it would be, but it was. And this is post-Planet Hulk, and he's coming back to Earth to seek revenge, which sounded really, really interesting. I have admittedly not actually read Planet Hulk yet. I do own it in physical upstairs, and I was going to read it when Thor Ragnarok came out and then didn't for some reason. I think I ran out of time. But I'm now really excited to sort of get through both of these and just to see how this goes, because I've seen Bruce Hulk out. I have not seen him Hulk out properly against the Avengers, and I cannot wait to see how this one goes. I then also got New Avengers Volumes 1 and 2 and Avengers Volumes 1 and 2 by Jonathan Hickman, which is the lead up to Secret Wars. Now obviously I did read the prelude a couple of months ago now, I think, and was really, really interested in the storyline. And while I could have then gone on and read Secret Wars, the event itself, without reading all of these comics, I did want to read these comics first because I wanted the huge build up. So I decided to get all of these ones, and while they were on buy one get one half price on Comixology, because when there's a deal like that and they're expensive as it is, go for it. I then also got Time Runs Out, also by Jonathan Hickman, which is also a part of the Secret Wars lead up. I should have mentioned that previously, but it is also part of the big lead up. It is the bit just before Secret Wars, and I'm just so excited to get to this one. I am just ridiculously excited. And then I got Rick Remender's Uncanny Avengers, which is an X-Men Avengers team up after Charles dies. And while I'm not here for post-Charles dying stories, generally I am excited to sort of see this team up, because half the time they're fighting, so I'm very excited to sort of see what happens when certain characters do actually team up together. And then the final two things I've got to mention are also X-Men and Avengers team ups, and these are the A+X stories volumes 2 and 3, because I read volume 1 a couple of weeks ago and it was just the most fun thing ever. It just made me so happy to read it, because all of these characters were just teaming up together and having fun, or trying to get the nails done and then having to go and fight big monsters and stuff like this. Sometimes they were just having arguments as to whether or not astronauts versus cavemen and who would win in a fight and stuff like this, and it just made me ridiculously happy to read. So again, while the buy one get one free was on, I raced to buy these two, and I cannot wait. I am kind of saving them for when I'm feeling quite low, which happens quite often in the current news cycle, but there we go. And I just cannot wait to read them, because I know I'm going to cheer up immediately upon reading them, because they're just so much fun. And that is all of my New Avengers comics. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up. Comment down below if you've read any of these. I'd love to know what you thought of them. I'll also leave a link down below to all of my social media if you want to check it out, including to the Comic Book Sanctum, which is my website dedicated to everything Marvel Comics. So if you are interested in any of these, or reading orders, character profiles and stuff like that, please do check it out down below. And if you want to see any more of my videos, please click subscribe here, and over here will be the link to my previous video. But until next time everyone, bye!